Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and today I have another Gunpla review. And the kit we'll be reviewing today is the high grade Grimoire Red Beret, and it's from the series Gundam Build Divers. I'm personally not a big fan of Gundam Build Divers, but I do like some of their kits. Gundam Build Fighters is obviously a show and series that's meant purely for selling toys, and definitely marketed towards children, but the shows have come out with pretty interesting and pretty cool Gundam kits recently, so I'm not really complaining that much. So before we get into the thick of it, I'll start out with a size comparison. This is a pretty decent sized high grade. It's obviously not the biggest, but it's also kind of on the bigger side. So here we have a more of a standard size Zaku. So you can see they're about the same height, but because the shape of the head and the size of the head, it does make it look a little chunkier, and just the overall proportions. And then here we have it next to a pretty average sized Gundam. We have Gundam O here, and you can see the Gundam's slightly taller, but they're all pretty comparable. It does look a little bit more substantial compared to the other kits just because of its overall proportions and its overall design, and also this huge backpack in the back. So this backpack attaches on using the I think pretty universal nowadays little peg system for all these divers kits. And it has some extra holes and slots and stuff where you can put extra accessories and all that you can get separately. It has a little venting detail down here, and this actually opens up, and there's nothing inside right now, but that's because I took everything that was inside out, obviously. So what actually goes in here are these extra little drones. So here is a drone that's folded out. The drones are basically extra heads with little parts to make them into like drones. They come with little color-coded knives that you stick on, and they're supposed to fly around like this, stabbing people and shooting people with their little tiny gun. So you get a green one, and you also get a blue one, like that. So these are pretty low on features. What they can do is they can articulate at the head, they can articulate at their little feet, just front and back, and then their arms go, the arms swivel, and then their legs swivel. That's basically it. You can attach the knife on the hand. This is how I'm gonna take the head off. The head also comes off very easily. This is how the box tells you to place it, but it's very flimsy and weird. You can make it hold like this, but that also looks weird. I just don't think the knife is a very good accessory for this thing. It just keeps going out of focus. You can also store the knife on the back of the drone. This, but I don't really see the point of that. I really don't see the point of the drones in general, especially since they're supposed to be flying drones and they don't include any way or have any way for you to do any aerial poses with them. So what I'll usually do is just leave them folded up inside. And what these heads are actually good for also is if you want to customize your red beret, because these are just repeats of the head, you can just replace it for a head, which is what I'll actually probably do. I actually really like the look of this plain green one, like that. So that's what I'll probably end up doing in the future when I customize this suit. But for the sake of the review, I'll leave the red head on. The blue head also fits on there. I'll just do that real quick just to show you guys what it looks like. The head also pops off very easily, so that makes switching out the head pretty easy. That's basically what it looks like with the blue head. Back with the red beret. Another cool detail about the heads is all the eye colors are different, and that's done by little colored foil stickers on the inside of these clear parts. Full focus. So that gives us this nice little glowing eye look. The overall presentation of this kit is very good. The way you see it here is how it comes out of the box. It's just straight built, no lining, no nothing. All the green parts are done in this nice flat material, this matte materials. It looks like it was clear coated, but it hasn't. The light green parts are closer to what you saw on like the Zaku. Other accessories it comes with is it comes with a red knife that came with the red head, and it has a little slot back here that came off again. I'll get to that. Has a little slot in the back, and you can just slide this knife back there, and that's how you store it. The thing that fell off is the shield. So the shield clips on using this little clip, and it has this little nub here that's supposed to slot into this little slot on the arm. And even when it does, it's not the most solid mount. It is decent, but it's not the greatest. You can see it doesn't like to stay on very well. But despite that, it does have two mounting areas like that, the other way I had it, depending on how you want to pose it. I'm going to leave it off. The overall design of the shield is pretty good. I like the look of it. I just wish this mounting area was a little better. The shield is also done in a nice matte finish, so it avoids the typical like plastic looking shield that a lot of Gundam kits and Gunpla kits suffer from. So the shield is very good looking. It's just a shame that it doesn't mount very well. But I'll leave that off. On this side, you see I have an open hand, but it does also come with a holding hand. And speaking of the holding hand, it can hold a knife, and it holds the knife pretty decently, but you do have to take this backing plate off to make it hold the knife. But once you take it off, it's a pretty good fit in there, so it doesn't really flop around or slide around or have any of the problems that accessories like this usually have. And that's the same with the gun hand. The gun kind of slots in at the same time, so it doesn't really flop around very much. So it's very easy to pose, and it's very solid. Speaking of the gun, it's actually in three parts. So you have the full rifle. The only feature about it is it has this foil sticker for the scope. It has this grenade launcher part that can come off and be a separate gun. It has a stock that pulls out and is a pistol, so that also looks pretty cool. And then you can assemble it again and make it into a full-fledged rifle. So that's pretty cool for display options and just customization in general. My only comment about it is this main barrel part likes to separate pretty easily. So that's something you want to watch out for, or just glue on. This grip also swivels back and forth. But besides that, it's a pretty cool gun. I like how it does the little modular thing, and this little grips on the side kind of reminds me of a Zaku machine gun. Now getting to the full kit with articulation, it has pretty decent articulation, but not the greatest. The head goes side to side and can go 360, but if you make it do 360, you have a high chance of the head actually popping off like that. So, for all for most display options, I would say that's the maximum amount of head articulation. The head also pops off very easily in general. It moves up and down very minimally just because of the design of the head. It does have a little action there because it is on a double ball joint. The shoulder armors move up, and the arms can move up at this joint and also can move up at this joint right here. So combined, the arms can go pretty far out, but it's kind of hindered by the shoulder armor and also this strange wing piece that's here. So you can cut that off if you don't really care about it, but otherwise this you can expect that to be your maximum articulation for that. There's a swivel at the top of the arm on both sides. The arm goes around 90 degrees, a little bit less than that, just because how chunky it is. The wrist on both sides do this swivel here, and they're both on ball joints. The waist is on a ball joint, so the top can swivel front and back, side to side, and swivel like that. And the back, the bottom only swivels. For the side skirts can swivel like this. They can move out slightly, which allows the legs to split around that far. Front skirts are connected out of the box, but they're not very hard to separate. So I will count that as two separate articulations. They go up about that far, and this little ball part also rotates. Once it's out, the leg can kick around that far just because of the design of the leg. And it does about a 90-degree bend. The butt flap doesn't move, and the shins actually come out like this because there are actually blades in here, but the blades are actually kind of hard to remove without a tool, so I would suggest you use some sort of tool or like use the knives that it comes with to like poke the little blades out. But once they're deployed, basically it looks like this, and there's a little swivel at the top, and it goes all the way up and all the way down, and the knife just folds back in. This little toe blade here swivels and also stores down here like that, but I like the look of this, so that's why I had it out. This little ankle guard is on a little ball joint, so it kind of moves around. The foot is on a double ball joint, so it has a pretty good range of movement. It swivels side to side, goes front to back. And the little rollerblade wheel at the back spins, but the front does not because it's part of this piece. But the back wheels actually do roll around pretty decently, so if that's how you want to play with it or display it, that is definitely an option. So you can display it on the action base. It has a little peg down here, so you can display it on the action base, but besides that, that's basically all the features that this thing has. So it has a lot of features, a lot of gimmicks, and some of the gimmicks are better than others, like how the knife stores is pretty cool on the back. The modular gun is pretty cool. The hook, the little spikes in the foot, and this is pretty cool. The rollerblade looking things, I think they're pretty cool. But the little drone things are pretty useless. Probably won't use these other than just storing it in the backpack. And the backpack is cool, but it does cause slight weight issues. That's why the suit's kind of posed in a funny way. But overall, I think it's a pretty good kit. The price is standard high grade fare, like $20 to $25, depending on where you buy it. And the presentation is very good. Articulation is decent. And if you're into just grunt suit looking mobile suits, or you're a fan of this particular mobile suit in general, I would definitely recommend it. For any casual Gunpla builder, I'll also recommend it. It's a very easy build, being a high grade, and it's very durable. Nothing really falls off other than the shield sometimes, and it's very, very solid, very playable. It's almost like an action figure. So I would highly recommend it. If I had to give it a score out of 5, I would probably give it like a 4.5, because presentation is very good, size is very good, articulation is decent, the accessories it comes with is decent, and it's just overall a pretty good kit and a decent price at that. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, give me a like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me how I can improve some of these reviews. I don't do many Gundam reviews on my channel, so any feedback on how to improve them would help greatly. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.